I want to thank you guys so much for getting on here. I am so excited. I really want to welcome our guests who got on here tonight. I know it's hard to try to fit something like this into your schedule. It's hard. I have 4 kids. I totally get it. So I'm really excited you guys got on here with us. Hopefully I am able to answer any questions that you might have about Plexus and just kind of explain what it is and give you a better understanding of it. So please, if you have any questions, there's a chat box on the bottom, and you are more than welcome to ask your questions there. And I think that we still, Carolyn, yours keeps getting unmuted. So I don't know if there's. I think Nicole, yours is muted. Okay. So it's been a sneaky little thing lately, and it keeps unmuting people. So if I hear cross noise, I might hop over here real quick to try to mute it. But, oh, Carolyn, yours just came unmuted again. I don't know what it's doing. Let's see. It's not letting me keep her muted. Okay, I'll just keep my eye on you, Carolyn. So first, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Kendall Boyd, and I am an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. I've been with the company for about 3 years, and it's been a huge blessing. It has changed my life. So that's why I get on these things, despite the fact that I hate talking in public. I still do these because my passion now is telling other people about it with the hopes that it could help them the way that it's helped me. So first, I asked a friend of mine to come on here and share her story. She's an incredible testimony with this company. She is a fellow Emerald Ambassador as well. And, it's the stories that get people to give this a shot. There are so many testimonies of people that have taken this, and it's done so many things for so many people. And so I really hope that you guys love her testimony as much as I do. So Stacy Hodge, if you could just introduce yourself, girl, and then just tell them all about you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Kendall. Okay, I think I've got some background going on, but I'll just know that I'm a little behind myself when I hear myself talk. Does it sound okay?
Yeah, you're great, girl.
Okay, good. Thank you for asking me to be on. I'm always excited and happy to share my testimony with other people. That is, to me, the meat and potatoes of what our company and our business is all about. I started with Plexus. I actually joined the company 2 days after trying a 7-day trial. I was absolutely miserable. I woke up miserable. I went to bed miserable. And I was one of those, normally I'm a happy-go-lucky person. But a couple of years before I'd started Plexus, I had gained almost 100 pounds. And I was seeing doctors, and none of the doctors could tell me why I had gained the weight. They had given me all kinds of different medications at different times, and none of it ever worked. None of it ever made me feel any better. I was stuck. I felt I worked a full-time job. I was in corporate accounting and payroll for a very large company. And, of course, I had 3 boys and a husband. I ran my household. I, helped in the company, and I was busy. We're very active members of our church. I'm strong in my faith, and I knew that I wasn't where I wanted to be, but I didn't know how to get where I wanted to be. I had tried everything that everyone had suggested, and I had tried some of the weirdest things. Trust me, y'all don't even want to know. But it was one day I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, and I saw a girlfriend of mine. It was actually my cousin's wife. She posted that she had lost 16 pounds using this Plexus stuff. And I thought, what? I mean, like, she was already skinny. I'm like, I would have been happy to be at her beginning size. So I was intrigued. She said that she had lost 16 pounds using this stuff called Plexus. And I was interested. Of course, I did not contact her first. No. We had, we had to do our homework. We had to do our studying first. So I Googled Plexus and checked it out. And I couldn't find anything negative about it. It looked like it was, plant-based. It looked like it was, healthier than some of the other stuff that I had honestly tried. And, so I called her up and I asked her about it. And, she told me a little bit And she said that she had some on hand, so I went to meet her, got a 7-day supply of Slim and Accelerator from her. And when we met, I was telling her about, some of the things that I had been experiencing, the excessive weight gain, and just how miserable I was. I had been diagnosed with, and I know I'm fixing to say a lot of words that we're not supposed to say. So this is not a Plexus Worldwide. This is just an independent ambassador sharing her story. So I was pre-diabetic. I had, oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Okay. I was pre-diabetic. I had severe irritable bowel syndrome. I had, oh my gosh, I totally just lost my train of thought.
That happens whenever I totally throw you off.
I guess I've said it.
Disclaimer.
I've said it so many times that I have forgotten. I had hypothyroidism. That was one of the major things. That and the prediabetes. But I had irritable bowel syndrome. I did not sleep. I had severe mood swings. I was ADHD. I couldn't focus. I just couldn't do anything. I was miserable all the time. And so I went and I was, like I said, I was telling her about these things that were going on with me. And she's like, oh, it sounds like you might need, you might have this overgrowth of yeast in your body, and you need to try this Probio 5. And I was immediately turned off. I felt like I had gone to a used car lot and they were trying to sell me cars that I didn't want. I was like, you've got to be kidding. I just wanted the 7-day supply. I don't want to be sold a bunch of other products. And I was really turned off. But I went ahead and got my 7-day of Slim, and I went home. And of course, her words kept turning over and over and over in my head. And so I Googled this overgrowth of yeast called Candida. And I looked at the information about it, and I read about a test that you could do at home by yourself. So the very next morning when I woke up, I did this test on myself, and I was floored. I immediately dialed her back up, and I was like, okay, I don't know what you were talking about yesterday, but I need some of that. I need it now, like ASAP. So I met with her, and I got the Probio 5. And I actually started on it first. I took 2 capsules that first night, and literally woke up the next morning, and my shoulder and my side, my ribs felt sore. I realized that I had slept the entire night in the same position that I had gone to sleep in. That has never happened to me, even when I was a teenager. So I was very surprised by that. I went downstairs, got my coffee and my Diet Coke because, don't talk to me until I've had both. And my boys were getting ready for school and doing this thing, and they were just like, Mama, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, what? Do I have something on my face? Or I have something? What's wrong? I just got out of bed. What's wrong with you? And they were like, you're in a good mood. You're not mad. And you don't look like you're just tired. And I was like, oh my gosh, y'all, when they left, I cried. I said, okay, well, maybe there's still something to this. And then I told myself, well, I think it's probably just a placebo effect. You just think you feel better because you took something and you really want it to work, even though you think it's not going to. So I took my Probio 5 for 2 days, and then I started on the Slim and Accelerator. And that first day on the Slim and Accelerator, I felt fantastic. And again, I told myself, I was number one skeptic. And I told myself, it's just a placebo effect. You just think you feel better. You don't really feel better. Day 2 of taking the Slim and Accelerator, I was like, literally, people at work were like, what is going on with you? What do you own? And can I have some of it? And that is the day I sat behind my, at my desk, behind my computer at work, and we had a slow day. And I checked it out. It was Leap Day 2012, February 29th. And I looked on the Plexus website of my girlfriends, and they were having a special to sign up. It was like $17.95 or something like that. I looked at it. There was nothing in the verbiage that told me that I was going to have to purchase a certain amount of product, that I was going to have to sell a certain amount of product. Basically, it said for $17.95 that I got a website for an entire year, and what I did with it was completely up to me. I looked through the welcome packs, and at the time they had a welcome pack H that had 3-month supplies of Slim and Accelerator in it for $199. I said, hello, duh, because she was going to sell me a month's supply for like $120 or something like that, retail. So I said, hello, this just makes sense. So I joined that day, and literally it just kind of, it went from there. It started off slowly. As far as the business aspect, because I didn't want anything to do with the business. I just wanted the products. I'm a control freak, so I didn't want to depend on someone else to get my products. I wanted to be able to get them when I wanted them at the cheapest possible price. I made good money, but if you got a coupon, you're going to use it, right? To me, signing up was just like using a coupon. And everybody around me started noticing and asking questions, but I didn't even tell anybody at first. I didn't tell them anything. Even my husband didn't know that I was taking anything, and didn't even know that I had signed up with this company. He literally, at the time, he was pretty bad off too, as far as, he'd gained a lot of weight, been off work for a long time. He was injured on the job, and he'd been off work for a long time, and literally was buying Monster energy drinks by the case. So within a month, I had lost almost 18 pounds. People were asking me left and right, what is going on with you? Finally, I started telling people, but I was only whispering. I was like, I ordered some products for a couple of people. I got my first paycheck. It was $40. And I was like, oh my God, why did they send me this? I don't even know what to do with it. Should I cash it? Am I going to get in trouble? I didn't do anything. So I was kind of, and then finally one of my friends were like, you really need to come to a meeting and listen to what this is all about. And I'm like, nope, don't want to. Well, that Saturday morning, me and my husband kind of got into it, and I was aggravated with him, and I wanted to leave the house. And I said, oh, I'll just go to this meeting. So I went and went to a meeting. Some girlfriends of mine that are now in my upline that I didn't even know who they were. Angie Harrell and Allison Bro were at this meeting, and it was Allison's story that really, really intrigued me. She was 25 years old. She had been with the company for a little less than a year. She told her story that she didn't even have the money to buy a welcome pack, that her dad bought it for her, blah, blah, blah. And, she was a single mom working 2 jobs, paying her bills with credit cards that she had maxed out, tons of them, just, never knew at the end of the day that they were going to have money to eat or pay bills, or whether their lights would be on. And she showed us her paper checks. At the time they had paper checks. That was when the company was still a baby. And she showed me her check, and it was over 10 grand. It was literally like $13,000. And I was like, what? This young 25-year-old little chick from down South Louisiana has the thickest Southern accent, or we call them Coonies. I won't say the word, but we call them, deep South Coonies. And she had this Cajun accent, and it was just, she was Q's button. But I thought, she's so far from what you would think a professional that would make $13,000 a month would be. And I said, if this chick can do that, then I can make $500 a month. And I literally decided that very day, I decided, I kind of drew my line in the sand, whatever. And at the time, I didn't know what any of that meant. Had no idea what I was getting myself into. And I said, but if she can make that a month, then I can make $500 a month. And the next month I did. And I said, well, I can make $1,000 a month. And the next month I did. And I said, I can make $2,000 a month. And the next month I did. And I can remember calling my sister, who finally joined me in August of that same year. She's an Emerald ambassador with Plexus as well. We went Emerald the same month, but I remember calling her the first time I made $2,000 in 1 month, which was not what I was making at work, but I was making it not doing anything, or I felt like I wasn't doing anything. And I cried. I said, $2,000 a month it was just, to me, it was mind boggling. And to know that, people had started jumping on board, and, things were just happening. And like I said, we ended up going Emerald together in the same month, November of that next year, November 2013. She and I and 2 other team members went Emerald at the same time. And it's just been a whirlwind adventure since then. I have none of the aforementioned ailments. I have no signs of IBS or I didn't even mention that earlier. That was when I lost my train of thought. Severe acid reflux. I was on 2 different medications twice a day for the acid reflux. And, I don't think I was depressed. I was just miserable. But all the medications that I had been taking, I was no longer taking. And I had lost right around 60 pounds. My husband had jumped on board late in April of 2012, and he's lost 80 pounds. And he was one of those chronic pain sufferers. He literally had an ongoing account with The Joint, which is chiropractic place where you can just walk in and get your fix. And he doesn't have to do that anymore. So together we've lost around 150 pounds.
Yeah, I'm putting your picture up real quick so you guys see her. It's
that's me.
cool, you guys. I just want to throw that out there before I forgot.
Yeah, thank you. I'm proud of that. And I say I'm proud of that. It's not like I worked hard for it. Honestly, I just took my products every single day, and I drank my water like I was supposed to, and I shared left and right, and just to go from where I was to where I am now. It's not something that I decided one day I'm going to do network marketing. It didn't go like that at all. As you can tell by my story, it was an absolute surprise. I was able to quit my full-time job. I'm a stay-at-home mom now and an entrepreneur, obviously. And I love what I do. I absolutely cannot imagine my life going any other way. God has opened up so many doors that I never imagined would open up. And I'm going to cry now. My children have said that they are grateful for Plexus because it gave them the mommy that they didn't have before. And that to me is worth any paycheck, is worth more than any paycheck. And the friends that I have encountered and come across, the lifelong friendships, the support that I have gotten, the lives that I have changed, the stories that come in on a daily basis that of other people that their lives have been changed. They've been able to get up out of bed when they didn't think they could. And, they're being able to make it and pay their bills and, not having to worry. And I remember my very first convention, Plexus convention, was in New Orleans. And I remember Sonia Dudley. There were no diamonds in the company. When I joined, there were only a handful of emeralds. Sapphire wasn't even a position when I joined. They later added that. But I remember Sonia Dudley standing on stage, and I had just become Ruby before that first convention. The month before that convention, I hit Ruby. And I remember Sonia Dudley standing on stage. I believe she may have been an emerald then. And she said, "What I want for you is to be able to go to the grocery store, Walmart, wherever it is that you go shopping. And I want you to be able to fill your buggy with the things that your family needs, whatever that may be. Fill your buggy and never have to worry about the price of any of those items. And when you check out, not worry about having to put any items back." And that really meant something to me because I have been in a place where when it was checkout time, I have had to put things back. And I've had my electricity turned off unexpectedly and, things like that. And I don't have to worry about that anymore. I've been able to not only sustain my family in a great way and quit my job and be at home for my children and my family and help other people do the same thing, but I've also been able to give more than I've ever been able to give before. And that to me means a lot. I can tithe at my church, but I can also give outside of my church when I see the needs of other people. And that to me is just an amazing feeling. Absolutely amazing. I would not give anything for my journey. Absolutely anything. I believe, like I said, that God brought us to where we are. We've also had a new addition to our family. No, I do not have a Plexus baby like many, many, many other people have Plexus babies. I did not give birth to this one, but God delivered us a foster baby to our doorstep. We've had her since she was 2 months, June of last year. And we hope to have her adopted by Christmas of this year. And that is something that I never would have thought or never would have even dreamed to do or never accepted. When the phone call came and the mama asked me, "Can you come get her?" If I was working full-time outside the home, I'm pretty sure I would not have done that. Mm-hmm. So Plexus has changed our lives in a lot of ways and has allowed us to do what we do. And I can do it from home with my children. Nobody else has to raise my children. I can be here for my children. And that is something that, to me, it's more than the health. It's more than, well, it's maybe not more than the health, because we've got to be healthy, right? But it's more than the paychecks. It's more than, the actual opportunity, the business or whatever. But I want that for everyone. I want everyone to be able to live out the life of their dreams, to have the things that their family needs without worry or want for anything, and to be healthy while they're doing it. So I'm always happy to share my testimony with others, and, to have people come to me and say that you're such an inspiration, y'all. It's like, really? I'm just me. I'm not an inspirational person, but it's an amazing thing to know that you're touching other people's lives and changing their lives with something that someone touched your life with one day.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me cry.
I didn't mean to talk that long. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I told her, I said, could you come share your story for 10 minutes? That'd be great. I love it, girl. You speak from your heart. There's no time limits on sharing. There are not.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I accidentally muted you because I didn't want you worrying about background noise while I started talking. So, but yes, thank you, girl, so much. So I am going to tell you guys just a little bit about me real fast, and then I really want to dive into the products so that you guys understand what our products do, why we're so crazy about them. So I just want to give you a little history on me so you understand where I'm coming from in all of this. I personally started because of severe stomach issues. Mine was IBS as well. I've always dealt with it. I've always had food sensitivities, bathroom issues. For those that don't know, that's irritable bowel syndrome. It has a very pleasant name. But it's something that a few years ago just got really, really, really bad to where I was just in pain all the time. And I said earlier, I have 4 kids. I homeschool. We've got kids in sports, kids in music, serve at our church. We're very active. And I was just in pain all the time. And it was to the point where I had a hard time even walking across my house anymore. It was that extreme. I basically spent my entire day sitting with a heating pad on my back. If laundry needed to be done, I had to have a chair brought over with a heating pad. If we needed schoolwork done, I had to sit in the recliner. I mean, it was that severe. And this went on for about a year. Over the course of a year, I was hospitalized 3 different times because my pain was so bad I just couldn't take it. And I saw multiple different doctors trying to figure out why it had gotten so bad. And, first I go, they find I have ovarian cysts. So we're like, great, we know what it is. I started getting injections. I was in worse pain after that. So I go to the next doctor and I get colonoscopies and upper endoscopies, and I'm told you have an inflamed stomach lining, you have a hernia, and you have an intestinal infection. So I'm like, great, let's give me something. Let's get rid of it. They give me medication. I get sicker. So I go to another doctor. I lay on a table for an hour, have an x-ray taken every 5 minutes to just track my entire system. Come out and they tell me I have 6 kidney stones. Great, kidney stones. Let's treat them. Let's feel better. This was the point. So this was about 11 months into this year of just torture. And because of where my kidney stones were, I had to go on medication to flush my system, which then ended up attacking my nervous system and made me start losing my vision. That will terrify you. Over the course of that 11 months, I had probably been on about 30 different medications, between pain medications and the things that they would put me on for my issues. And instead of getting better, I was getting sicker, and now I'm starting to have these crazy side effects. My cousin had told me about Plexus this entire time, literally from like the month I started feeling really bad. That was the month she signed up and started telling me about it. I'm a very, very skeptical person though, and it takes a lot for me to make a decision like that, especially when it comes to putting things in my body. So I just chose not to do it. But when I started having my vision affected, that was the point when I was like, there has to be something different. There has to be something that I can do that's not going to have these side effects. So I reached out to her. That week she'd shared a testimony about a woman that had lots of stomach issues, and obviously it spoke to me. So I reached out to her. I told her, I am desperate. Just tell me what to take and I'm going to take it. And that was the day that changed my life. It really did. I started these products the first week of December in 2013. Within the first week, I did notice my pain was getting better. Now, I did start on the max dose of everything, and I went through some detox. I had, some headaches. I was tired, because when you start increasing water and taking things that work to get, toxins out of your system and getting everything working right, you can go through detox. And so I did go through that. But it was a short time. It was like 3 weeks. And then I felt better than I had ever felt. My stomach was better. And you guys, it's bad when your husband comes home and sends you to bed because you're hurting. And then you come out, find out he had taken the kids to the park. And when you come out, they had come back and they had made cards for me and put them all over the house just saying, Mommy, I'm sorry you're too sick to come play with us. I'm sorry you're too sick to come to the park anymore. Like, things that'll just break your heart because your body is holding you hostage. And, this was the one thing that worked for me. In addition to that, I have lost weight. My energy is way better. My mood is better. I've gone off of 3 different prescription allergy medications that I was on for 7 years prior to that because of chronic sinus infections. I have not gotten a sinus infection since then. And I'm sure a lot of you are like me. When something works, you want to know why on earth this is working. Because I knew it worked. I'm kind of a sciencey person, so I love to start researching. So our 3 main products we call it the triplex, okay? And that's really all I'm going to cover tonight, because no matter what the health issue is, that's what I recommend people start on. And the triplex comes with our little pink drink, our ProBio 5, which is our probiotic, and our BioCleanse. First and foremost, I want to say our pink drink is called Slim. That's the only time you're going to hear me call it that, because I hate that it's called that, because then people think, oh, your pink drink's about weight loss. That is not it at all. So I'm going to call it pink drink, okay? So I'm talking about our Slim, but yeah, it's pink drink. So the main thing that does, it was actually created for diabetics. And it has a bunch of things in it that naturally work to keep your blood sugar at a healthy level. Okay, this is super important. Many people think only diabetics have issues with blood sugar. That is not true at all. If you, have breakfast and you have toast, or you have orange juice, or, all of that, orange juice has 30 teaspoons of sugar in one serving. Okay. So your blood sugar first thing in the morning is skyrocketing. Well, now your body has to release tons of insulin to bring it down, which is going to cause that sugar crash. And this is the beginning of your day. Okay. Imagine it doing that all day long. Blood sugar affects so much. When it's imbalanced, it stresses your thyroid big time. Insulin's a hormone. When one hormone goes, it can pull others. So it can affect your hormones. It affects your energy levels. It affects your appetite. It affects your sleep. It affects a lot. So the pink drink is very important to get blood sugar regulated. That is the number one thing. When you have a health issue, you want to bring balance back into your body, okay? So you want to work on all the root issues in your body. The stuff I had, I would get an issue, and so they were putting a Band-Aid on it. And I'm not against medication by any means. Medication saves lives. I mean, it does. But when you are covering up your issues with chemicals instead of figuring out what is causing that issue, it's not going to fix the issue. It's just going to cover it up. And a lot of times what you're covering it up with causes other issues. So you've got to work on those root issues. Blood sugar is number one. The next thing is your gut. Your gut it controls your body. Your gut controls your health. When you hear people say that 80% of your immune system comes from your gut, that's because your immune cells, your lymphatic cells, are literally growing right behind your small intestine, okay? They're growing there. You have 80% of your immature cells developing there. And so when your gut's compromised, your immune system is compromised. And so it's going to lead to so many other health issues. And that's why me and my body, it was the domino effect of one thing leading into another thing. I do want to talk a little bit about yeast. Okay. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into the yeast in your gut, but you're supposed to have yeast. You're supposed to have yeast in your gut. We're born with it. When you die, something's got to decompose your body, and you're born with good bacteria in your gut. But soda, alcohol, processed food, excess sugar, medication, birth control, all of these things kill off good bacteria in your gut. Well, that dead bacteria now becomes food for that yeast and allows it to just start overgrowing. And it's like what Stacy was talking about when she did that at-home test. You can visibly see this. Okay. And effects of having a yeast overgrowth, there's so many effects. If you deal with low energy, or you have headaches, or you have autoimmune disorders, or skin conditions, stomach issues, there's so many different things that come from having your gut compromised. Because, I mean, my favorite visual of this is your gut is supposed to be the steel trap of your body. It is supposed to keep waste and toxins and undigested food particles and all of that trapped there until your body can get rid of it. But this yeast is a burrowing organism, and it burrows through the linings of your intestines and compromises it and turns it into this screen door that allows this stuff into your system. So that's why when they tell me that they have a health issue, no matter what it is, I point them to the triplex, because our ProBio 5 is very, very unique in what it does. When somebody tells me that they're already taking a probiotic, I tell them, throw it out the window. You're wasting your money. You need to just try this one. Give this one at least 2 months. If you want to go back to your other one, great. And guess what? We have a money back guarantee, so you can get your money back as well. So why not give it a chance? And the reason ours is different is because normal probiotics, the point of them is to put good bacteria back into your system, right? Because we're killing off the bad bacteria. So that's a great thing. But this yeast has a hard shell around it that a bacteria cannot penetrate. So if you could be drinking good bacteria by the gallon and you're still going to have a yeast issue. So what you have to have, and what our probiotic has, we actually have a patented enzyme blend. And enzymes, the point of having enzymes is to dissolve the shell that is around that yeast, okay? And it makes it vulnerable. Now it's exposed. And then we have grapeseed extract in ours, which grapeseed is a natural antifungal. And so that is going to kill off that yeast and help flush it out of your system. So now not only are you putting good bacteria in, but you're getting the bad yeast out, okay? And there's many other ways that it's different. A lot of people, one of the main questions I get is how many CFUs are in our ProBio 5. It's 2 billion is how much is in it. And a lot of people tell me, oh, I'm on one that has 60 billion, okay? And they think the higher the number, the better the probiotic is. And this is not true. You actually can have too much of a good thing. You really can. But the reason that there is so much in those is because a huge percentage of those, whenever you take that probiotic and the capsule starts dissolving, a huge percentage is going to be killed off when it hits your stomach acid. So they have to put extra in there in order for you to still get some to your GI tract, okay? Now, our capsule is designed to where it does not even start dissolving until it hits the pH of your GI tract. So 2 billion is all you need, and 100% of it is going to go where you need it. And there's many other things that I could go into. Ours does not have to be refrigerated, which is a huge benefit because they are stable at higher temperatures. Hello, our bodies are 98 degrees. You need ones that are stable at higher temperatures. But bottom line, that ProBio 5 is a game changer. That is what turns your gut back to that steel trap and protects it. We have amazing immune systems. God gave us something within our bodies that heal our bodies. And when your immune system is compromised, it can't really do what it's supposed to be doing. If you get your gut back in balance, that is allowing your immune system to start working again. And so, again, no matter what the health issue is, that triplex is so important. You need to address your blood sugar. You need to address your gut. The BioCleanse is the third product that is in that triplex. This one, I also hate the name because people hear the word cleanse and they think they're about to be making a date with the toilet for a while. That is not how this works, okay? The BioCleanse is it's a gentle cleanse. It's magnesium based, and magnesium does have a colon flush reaction. And so I always tell people, start on 1 and let's see what's the right dose for you. Because I don't want people like me. I started on 6. So you can imagine how long it was before I could even leave my house. It was bad. But I am the girl, my form of IBS was chronic constipation, so 6, and I was like, hallelujah, this is amazing. But don't do that, okay, because you probably aren't like me. But the point of this is magnesium helps to move things out of your system, which if you do not go, number 2, at least twice a day, you have issues. It's backed up in there. And guys, that is toxins. That is waste. That is stuff that is not supposed to remain in your GI tract. It needs to come out of there. So I love the analogy I heard at a meeting once. They said if 3 cars go in the car wash, 3 cars need to come out of the car wash, okay? Or else they're just chilling there getting all nasty. So having something, if you're not regular, having something to help with that is super important. But also just the stuff, there's bioflavonoids in it, which bioflavonoids help support the lining of your intestinal tract. There's vitamin C in it. There's just so many things in it that help promote the health of your gut and help work on issues that are there and damage that is there. So that combo really is a game changer no matter what your issue is. And if you have more questions specifically about it, you're welcome to message me afterward. I could probably talk for like 10 hours on this combo, just because, like I said, I've researched every ingredient because I love science behind this stuff. And the more I learn about it, the more passionate I get about it. But, just having people understand the importance of working on those root issues and really getting down to what's wrong in your body. You'd be amazed. My husband, his father passed away from a heart condition, and soon after he went and got a bunch of blood work done because of the kind of heart condition that he had. He wanted to see if it was hereditary, and it had passed on to him. And so he went and got all his blood work done. There was about 40 categories, came back, and at the age of so I was trying to calculate this earlier. I think he was 38 or 37 maybe at the time. He had 38 categories that were borderline or high risk. Okay. So his paper came back with all yellows and reds and like 2 greens on it. Okay. So it's very scary. We have 4 kids, and it was, he was borderline pre-diabetic, and he had a fatty liver and high cholesterol and high triglycerides and high blood sugar. And he was like deficient in everything. And so he got put on 9 different medications. 9. Okay. We had a little pharmacy on our counter, not to mention all the other supplements we're trying to add in order to, like, okay, maybe this will help. So we waited about 2 months, got his blood work done again. Medication had not done a whole lot. So, what do? They increase all your dosage. Right about this same time was when Plexus came along, and I had read something about cholesterol and that maybe it would help with cholesterol. And so we figured the medicine hasn't worked. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what it can do. And so we put him on it. We did choose just for our own personal reasons to take him off of all his medication and give Plexus a shot. Cause we didn't want to have that question of, well, was it Plexus or was it the higher doses of the medication? So we kind of like stepped out in faith there that this was going to do, what it said it was going to do. And we waited about 6 months. 6 months later, we switched health insurance. We had to get his blood work done again, and we got the same blood test done. And it was just mind blowing seeing the results from that. Across the board, there was nothing that was even borderline anymore, which just blew my mind. His cholesterol had gone down 101 points. His triglycerides had gone down 360. His good cholesterol came up, I don't remember how much, but his blood sugar was normal. Blood pressure was normal. His liver enzymes were normal. Just so many things. And his vitamin D, when he first got it done, he was told his vitamin D was so deficient that if he went into the sun, he would get skin cancer. Like, that's how scary deficient it was. And they put him on 10,000 IUs of vitamin D to try to raise it. It did nothing. We switched him to the Plexus X Factor, which, okay, I said I would only talk about the triplex, but the X Factor is amazing. It's the multivitamin, and it's aloe-based, because a lot of times when people are deficient in nutrients, it's number one, a gut issue, because your gut affects the way you absorb nutrients. And so he had an absorbency issue. So we put him on that X Factor. It only has 1,000 IUs of vitamin D. So we went from 10,000 to 1,000, but it had aloe in it. And aloe helps your body to absorb. It makes the nutrients that you take more bioavailable, which means it's easier for your body to use them or absorb them, and up to like 300% for some of them. There's a chart somewhere that shows for each vitamin how much it helps it, but I don't remember all the numbers. So when we got his vitamin D done again, after he'd been on that other vitamin D forever and it did nothing, we switched him to this one. We got his blood work done again, and his vitamin D levels were perfect. They had raised up. And the crazy thing we didn't realize is he had gotten cold sores his entire life, his whole adult life especially, at least once a month. If he went out in the sun, he would get a cold sore because, sun, a lot of vitamin D and heat, his body couldn't handle it. And a lot of people who get cold sores, it's a vitamin D deficiency. And so we started him on the X Factor. Cold sores went away. For the first time in his life. It was years of no cold sores. And I don't know if any of you deal with cold sores, but they're embarrassing. They are. His poor lips would swell up and it looked like he got stung on the mouth by a bee. Like, I felt so bad for him. So just things like that you just, you never saw coming. And it's one of those things where when you go off allergy meds and you're losing weight and you're sleeping better and your energy's better, you're like, what on earth is going on? And you can't help but start telling people about it. And that's why us Plexus people are a little crazy. If you have somebody that invited you to this and they've been like hounding you, ask them why. They probably have an incredible story with this. Or maybe they're just getting started and it's the hope for finally being free from the health issues that they have. So, I do want to touch on the business a little bit. I promise it won't be too much, but really just because it has been kind of like Stacy was saying, the thing that has just changed everything for my family. We are feeling incredible, but I did not realize that there was a business with this company when I started. I signed up the day before Thanksgiving. Financially, where we have been on one income. I've been staying home with my kids for 11 and a half years, and we've been on one income. And it got to the point where we weren't even paycheck to paycheck. We were very in debt. We had $17,000 on a credit card because, when you have 4 kids and they get older and things happen, and my kids love breaking bones, so we've had lots of broken bones in my family, life's expensive. And so we ended up having $17,000 on one credit card. And guys, that was groceries. That wasn't mismanaging money. That was groceries. Okay. That was to feed my family. And not only did we have that, but my father had lived with us and was getting remarried and was moving out. So we were about to lose the money that he contributed every month, and we would go about 2 months before we could no longer pay our mortgage. And so I went to bed at night with, I was feeling horrible, but also with that fear of how am I going to keep a roof over my kids' heads? I have no way to help provide for my family. And it's not like daycare was an option because we had 4 kids and that would cost more than me going to work. So, this is one of those things. We struggled so bad. And when these products came out, I could not afford these products. We had to put them on the credit card. That was at $17,000 already. It's because I was desperate and I just wanted to feel better. But the day after I signed up, Thanksgiving, went to my mom's house. My mom and my sisters were there. They had similar stomach issues. And, of course, I told them what I was doing, and they signed up. And within 4 days, I had made $300. And I was like, what on earth is going on here? So I reached out to my cousin. I told her, look, I see potential with this, but here's the deal. I don't do home parties. It's not my thing. I don't like doing it. I don't have the time for it. I am not going to buy inventory. I do not have money to buy inventory. And the last thing and the biggest thing for me was I never, ever wanted my friends to feel like a paycheck to me. There's a lot of people out there that the way that they do business with network marketing, I feel like it's why it's given network marketing its bad name. They are pushy and in your face, and I just didn't want to be that way. And so I told her if there was opportunity with this and it met my 3 criteria, I was going to give it a shot. And so she just sent me to the testimony pages and told me just read through them. I read through them, and so many things jumped out to me, from fertility issues to autoimmune disorders, headaches, just so many things that friends of mine struggled with. And so I decided right then and there that I was going to just let everybody know what I was doing. I did not want to put pressure on them. I was very open about the fact that I don't know a whole lot about this. Here's what I've been dealing with. I'm tired of feeling that way. I'm just reaching out to you in case you're dealing with something as well. So if so, I would love for you to do this with me. We can support each other. We can encourage each other. So I reached out to as many people as I could, and my first month I had 22 people join my team and 16 customers. So 38 people my first month. I didn't even know I knew 38 people that were sick. But my first paycheck with Plexus had 4 numbers in it, okay? It paid my mortgage, it paid my groceries. Like, it was a mind-blowing paycheck. And that right there, when you're like above, like you're literally drowning in debt and drowning in financial stress. I can't even tell you the word. $300 was a blessing, but when you get a paycheck like that, it was just something that made me realize, like, there's something here. And sorry, I'm hearing voices come through. So I'm going to glance real quick and see who maybe has their sound on. There's so many of you in here. It takes me a minute to scroll. But that's kind of how I got started. And sorry, I found I found who the culprit was. And so from then I just continued to share. It continued to grow. And I did reach the rank of Emerald in July, which Emerald is the rank that comes with a 6-figure income. It comes with a free car. It comes with a trip to Hawaii, and not just any free car. It's a free Lexus, which is incredible, especially when you have a van that has like 4 sensor lights going off and 2 broken doors. And, it's pretty ghetto. But just things like that I'm like, I'm just a homeschool mom. There is nothing special about me. I'm not a great salesperson. It's not that I'm like this huge extrovert. Guys, I have to take anxiety pills before I do calls like this, okay? It freaks me out. But I knew from day one that I first had something that a lot of my friends could benefit from. A lot of my friends deal with health issues. And as somebody who has been held hostage by their health, the thought that I could maybe bring them some kind of relief, I knew I had to do it. I had to take a chance on it. But then knowing that the business to join, it's $34.95. That is it. $35. That gets you an entire year's membership. There is no monthly fees. There's no sales quotas you have to fill. There's no minimum purchases you have to make to stay active. There is none of that. It's literally $35, and that gets you your replicated website to send to your friends if they want to try it. They order and it ships straight to them. I don't carry inventory. I don't do any of that. So the fact that I've been able to do it, and like I said, guys, I've got kids in multiple sports and piano and church and home. I mean, it's just my plate is overflowing. It's already busy, but this still fits in. This still fits in, and it's the thing that I am doing for me that is benefiting my family as well. And our big goal is for, by hopefully January, latest spring, for my husband to be able to leave his job, for him to be home, and me to be the one taking care of our family like he has done for the last decade. So I don't know why you guys got on this call. If you're a guest, or maybe you're a brand new ambassador, or maybe you've been doing this for 3 years like I have, and maybe you're stuck and you don't know what to do. If you are a guest and this is something maybe you're thinking about, please talk to the person that invited you. And if you have more questions, they know how to get a hold of me, or they can answer it for you. I love talking about this. So I will definitely answer more questions. But for everybody else, those who maybe are ambassadors or who have been stuck, just know no matter what, every day is one step closer toward doing the thing that you didn't think you could do. Okay. We all do this for various reasons. We call it our why, our reason why, and we all have a reason. It's either to change the life for our family, for retirement. I have many older friends that do this, and this is going to be their retirement. Maybe it's to pay for groceries so that it no longer has to go on a credit card like ours were. Or maybe you've got kids and you always have to say no to them, playing sports or doing music or going on field trips or whatever it is, and you want to be able to say yes and let them do that. Whatever it is, this opportunity does not come around often. And I'm not going to lie, I did put in work. I had to reach out to people and I did educate myself on it, but it's there for everybody. It's an opportunity. It's for everybody. And it's very different from other network marketing companies. So I hate when that stigma holds people back. Okay. I've done Beauty Control and Young Living and Jamberry Nails, and I still use all that stuff. I love that stuff, but I wasn't passionate about the businesses and those targeted women. Men do this, women do this. My children are all on the products with pediatrician approval for various things. And it's helped all of them. So just think about it. Especially you guests, just think about it. There is a 60-day money back guarantee. So you get 2 months, and that is now even for the wholesale route. Okay, that's how much our company stands behind the products. Even if you are an ambassador and you're earning income, you have a 60-day money back guarantee on your products. So try it for 2 months. Guess what? If it's not for you, get your money back. We don't want our friends wasting money on things that they don't love as much as we do. So but anyway, I thank you guys so much for getting on here. I am so glad you guys were able to just set aside some time tonight. And again, if you have questions about any of it, you can even go to the event page and you're welcome to ask them there. And, that's actually a good place to ask them so that others can benefit from seeing the answers as well. But you guys are free to go back to your evening. I'm going to